on in Mexico right now. It is absolutely craziness. It looks like a legit movie right now, what's going on. And, I really pray and hope for everyone to be safe. And if you're a tourist, especially an American tourist, be safe out there because, yeah, it's just not safe. A lot of flights are being canceled. The damn World Cup is canceled. And a lot of things are going on based off of this cartel leader. His name El Mencho. Hey, this is me editing this. Yeah, so the name was unique, but yeah, just crazy to kind of go back and seeing the damages and everything that's been caused by this and the uproar the cartel members have made. And yeah, just for my initial reaction, seeing off of this and seeing off of social media, I just want to kind of take the time and really go over this and learn as I go and figure stuff out and really piece together what's going on because it's very important to be well informed of over any situation. And what I've been seeing on social media that I will point out later in this video, that there is a lot of ignorance going off, especially off of American tourists, where they're like, oh, why can't we have fun at this trip, or why can't we enjoy ourselves? When is this thing going to be over? When in actuality, there are people actually going through stuff and not being able to live or survive and have their homes and communities being trashed down. And the only thing they're worried about is the damn hotel ticket or, just everything. I will explain this later in the video, but yeah, it's just crazy just seeing the ignorance and stuff like that you'll see off of social media, especially off of TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is people are using. I think it is the most inappropriate thing, but American thing I've seen so far. I mean, it's just damn, like you guys are living under a rock at this point. EJNG, sorry for mispronouncing your names. El Muncho was one of Mexico's most notorious drug lords, and his death represents a major operation by the Mexican military. This triggered immediate and widespread cartel retaliation with roadblocks, fires, arson attacks, and armed clashes reported in many parts of the country. Experts say this backlash reflects how deeply some criminal networks can impact national security. This event is a centerpiece of Mexico's current crisis and narrative. Man, so yeah, it's crazy right now what's going on. Just from the footage alone, if you guys seen anything on social media, it looks like a straight up 2012. I don't know if you guys remember that film, but a war film. Like it just looks completely chaotic outside. A lot of fire, a lot of damages to property, literally dragging people out of cars and, destroying everything they see in sight. So basically a lot of destruction out there. It is completely chaotic, and I really do hope a lot of people are safe. And, there's rumors and stuff like that going around, like they're targeting American citizens, tourists mainly. So if they see you on the spot, they will attack. And, honestly, from the footage I'm playing up here, it's pretty bad. So yeah, the cartel from Mexican history, from what I've been researching, has been pretty bad. Like, there's not much the mayor, of Mexico can really do, or mayor of any cities can really do, because of how much influence the cartel has within, whatever city. Again, this is me editing. Yeah, so cartel members they have a big influence on just how cities are run, and gang related, how businesses are run, the money system, and they have this major influence on just like what happens to the city. Like it's just a lot of dirty work that goes behind the scenes, and since there's so much of that activity going on, governments, cities, mayors of they really can't do anything because it's just this big problem that they're trying to solve, but unfortunately that has been around for so long, and that they're constantly recruiting and their numbers are growing. Trying to get rid of the issue isn't that easy. Of course, there's stories that would happen of people going missing, people dying, bodies will be found somewhere later down the line. Sometimes they can't even understand, or not even understand, but figure out the remains of that person that went missing. And so there's just a lot of shady and dirty work that goes between the cartel members. So it's a bigger issue of just like, oh, it's easy to get rid of them. Why can't they just use the army? Like, it doesn't work like that. It depends on the situation at hand. But this one particularly, it's pretty bad, for the outlashes caused. And there's a lot of things going on right now that's kind of questionable from American point of view. Say, for example, like Americans that, like, have trips and have dates they want to be out there in Mexico are complaining about, oh, when is it safe to go back to Mexico? Not knowing, like, there's this crisis that's going ahead, completely being oblivious. And I mean, there's some videos even saying people like, oh, yeah, I got a birthday coming up. Why can't I go over there now? This shit better be fixed in a week. You're showing the complete ignorance of, what's going on, because right now in Mexico, it's a damn war. And, if you're caught in the middle of it, only God knows what's going to happen to you. Because, for starters, if you go up there right now, or hell, if you try to be up there, it's just going to be a big mess that you're going to have to get yourself out of. And the only safe spot for, Americans to be is right next to the border. And then they have to kind of hide and figure the way how to get themselves out, because, all airlines are closed. There's not much really traffic going on where they can find ways to get back home. So they're stuck there for however long the situation is going to be. And, of course, they don't have talks about if Trump's going to get involved or anything like that. We don't know for right now, from the information I was given. But yeah, Trump, hasn't really said anything, or anybody from the U.S. to make that call. So it's just like everything's kind of up in the air right now, but it is pretty crazy seeing what's going on and how everything is playing out. But just staying well knowledgeable of the situation is very important, and understanding, like, trying to stay safe is the best route. And yeah, the cartel is nothing to really mess around with. I don't know why American citizens, or tourists. I'll just say tourists. Tourists are just trying to go over there and be oblivious of, like, the culture and what's going on, because if all these different things are combined, you got to be aware of what's going on, because with tourism, like, they want to be sightseeing and want to go do certain things. We're like, oh, it's fun, let's do it for the gram and do it for the social media. But I remember when I went to Cancun a long time ago, and Cancun actually, in this, patience with me, you guys. This is the first time I've ever read like a script and do audio at the same time, so it may sound a little choppy, whatever, but laying down information that's factual, so that's something. But yeah, this footage right here is just me being Cancun. So I already stated the distance of how long it was, and yeah, it's just crazy to see, like, it's only a couple hours away from the actual situation. But in this footage here, I was with family, a couple years back in 2019, and yeah, it was just I don't think you can see it here, but like there was footage of like like tanks, not tanks, but like jeeps, like military jeeps and stuff like that, roaming around the street, which was crazy to see for the first time. But yeah, bear with me. Being in Guadalajara, and that is over 1,000 and 1,700 kilometers, or 1,600 miles away from yeah, pretty much away from that. So it's about 2 to 0.5 hours from Cancun. So it's basically kind of right in the border of everything. And yeah, it's just very dangerous to be in that circumstances. But going back to when I was in Cancun, with my family, I made sure we stayed in the most safe spot, and I really go venture out. But even there, I remember seeing, like, the military just roaming around within these trucks that they have guns, heavily armed, roaming through the cities like it's a normal day. And that shit, I never forgot that impression that left on me. I was just like, whoa, like, what is going on here? Yeah, I've never seen that before. I was just like, whoa, why the hell they got military people, exile, all, just coasting upon. But yeah, just it's crazy just seeing from the footage, what's going on now. Yeah, people getting dragged out the car. People are, in panic. People are trying to find places to hide and shelter. Airports are being taken over. Hospitals. Yeah, it's just complete chaos. And on top of that, really, it's not that many places people can find shelter and take cover and hide for however long the situation may be. The cartel is very rampant over the situation, and it's looking bad. Yeah, but the crazy thing is how much the cartel members make in order to get all the guns and all the equipment. The cartel members make $13 to $50 billion a year when it comes to them having weapons and getting all these armory, and that's where you see them with all kinds of stuff that they're throwing at people and attacking them with. And, the government really can't do anything about that. And within this El Mancho situation, about 2/3 of Mexico is being taken over right now. So like half of Mexico City is being run down with cartel members roaming around in the streets, crazy, creating chaos and all kinds of stuff. And experts are saying pretty much they can trigger another war within that country. Now, like I said before, I'm not too sure if America's going to get involved or we're going to send in troops and stuff like that and kind of go from there. But yeah, it's just the people, of course, people in Mexico and tourists, Americans and stuff like that are being brought up to the border so they can find some type of protection and kind of hold off for however long they needs to be. And yeah, this kind of raised the bar. Of course, I'm just going off of my initial reactions off of everything and, gaining information and learning and figuring stuff out. So I can be well knowledgeable towards the source, not just saying things, but yeah, just from an initial point of view, I'm like, yeah, especially starting off the year. I mean, of course, there's always a build up and there's a lot that goes behind the scenes and, there's a lot of things to learn and to understand more of the situation instead of being ignorant, like what I've been seeing on the, social media platforms, people not really understanding and not caring and not even wanting to know more about the situation so they could be well knowledgeable towards anything that comes up in this type of dilemma. Yeah, but within the situation, I just hope people are, going to lend out some type of support and, do what they can to look into all this because this is just crazy, just from my initial reaction seeing off of this, it looks like I said, a movie. It looks like a genuine movie. But then the thing I didn't like about hearing upon this situation is the reaction of people like, well, when are we going to go on a trip and go over there again? Like, when can we do that? And they're not thinking about their safety, the people out there safety, and just the overall situation because they want to spend $2,000 on a hotel or spend however much money it takes just to get over there from, where they're at to Mexico. Yeah, not being willing to cancel the trip and being, respectful of the situation and acknowledgeable of the situation as well too. And not being like, oh, well, who cares? Being completely oblivious. Because I'm like, with those type of countries, you have to be really knowledgeable on what's going on. And you can't just show up and, be like, oh, let me have a good time. You got to know the right areas. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know the times you got to be up there because, it's basically the whole message of this video is just to stay well knowledgeable and don't be ignorant. Take the time to figure out your sources and, get everything together so you can be the best person you can possibly be because, there's so much going on out there in the world that being well knowledgeable about any situation that comes up, especially if it's this drastic, is very important to, be well informed. But on a positive note, you guys stay safe. Thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this video. I've done a lot of edits and chops. This is the first time I've ever done something off the script and not really off the dome how I usually do because, it's factual, facts and stuff. You don't want to be sound stupid like, I think this is how you say it. No, you don't want to pull that off because, hey, bro, where'd you get that source from? That's all it takes. Something real quick. Say, well, not one wrong sentence or say something that, come out your ass and it's a wraps. But everything off this video is factual. Thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this. And make sure you like and subscribe. And, yeah, stay tuned. Be safe out there.